We're 1-1 in the Stanley Cup. We had an overtime game last night, and the St. Louis Blues won their first ever Stanley Cup game. How about that? You've been in existence.
Wait a minute. They've been around for so long. Didn't they have one of them? Didn't Gordie Howe play for their?
They had never won a Stanley Cup Finals game until last night.
That is unbelievable.
You watched history, and that's why we're going to bring Johnny Gaudreau.
I'm not
South
wrong about
Jersey
that. Right?
Hockey,
Gordie Howe played
Calgary
for the Blues?
Flames. Yeah, yes.
Or Bobby Orr? No, Gordie. I know Gordie played for everybody.
They never won a game ever until
incredible.
last night. But we'll talk a little hockey, the Stanley Cup, and what it was like growing up in Jersey, trying to make it to the NHL with Johnny Gaudreau. He joins us now on the Boardwalk Honda Hotline. Hey, Johnny, we appreciate you giving us a couple minutes on a busy offseason here. What's going on?
Not too much. Just sitting on the show here this weekend, so it's good to be back home for the summer.
Yeah, I know. We were just talking. So, I guess living in Calgary for while you're at work, coming back home for the summer is definitely something you're always looking for. I can't imagine that. Now, you're probably not doing a whole heck of a lot besides playing and practicing, but what's going on in Calgary during the winter?
Yeah, you kind of get the best of two worlds, I guess. Living on the beach in the summertime, and then during the winter where, you're trying to work and practice and playing. I wake up and see the mountains from my condo from downtown Calgary. So, it's a pretty cool spot. I get to snows all the time, every single day almost. You think it does, and see the mountains every day. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So what are some of the things that you've adopted since you've, were there things that you now picked up since you've lived there? I seen pictures of you riding bull riding and stuff. Are these things that you picked up moving out there, or is this stuff that you kind of adapted when you were here?
No, I kind of got into the riding horses a little bit from Calgary, to the big country, Midwestern kind of thing. They got a big stampede in the summertime that I like to go to and ride horse in the parade and stuff. And, living there for 5-6 years now, you kind of tend to pick up on a little bit of their slang, Canadian slang. And my parents and buddies always give me a hard time when I get back home for the summer and tell them to get punched in the arm if I say it when I'm in the States. So it's a quick way to get out of the slang that way.
Yeah, John, that sounds like a lot of stuff you would normally do in Jersey, right? I mean, they're pretty much the same type of place.
Yeah, right?
Now tell Mike and I were arguing that Calgary has a way better reputation than Winnipeg.
I think so. I mean, obviously I'm a little biased, living there, but it's a lot colder in Winnipeg, a lot windier. But two very passionate sports cities about their hockey teams, and some cities you don't get fortunate enough to play in a city that cares too much about hockey like some of those Canadian cities. So
right.
I'm very fortunate where I'm at. The way they watch us and follow us, and they're very passionate about our team.
Now, I know when you become a professional, Johnny, you kind of lose your hometown allegiances and you're just really focused on your career and the team you play with. But as you look at the NHL Finals, you got St. Louis and you have Boston, and everybody here in the Philadelphia, Jersey, even New York area, nobody wants to see Boston win another cup. Nobody. Or a title. Anything. Nobody wants to see Boston win anything. There's got to be that part of you that when you're watching this series and you're following along, you're like, listen, I may not have allegiance anymore, but just no more for Boston. That's enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little tired of New England and Boston sports teams winning. You want to see some other teams win, and I got so many buddies in Boston, and my brother and my buddies have a ton of friends in Boston. That's all we hear about is New England sports. So, I'm don't really care too much who wins, but you'd like to see that St. Louis kind of pull it out, I think. But it's a good series. They're both two very good teams, and it's been fun to watch.
Now, how invested are you in watching the actual games? I mean, last night, first period, back and forth, it's like the new era of hockey. And then in period 2 and 3, it was like watching the Devils play in the 90s. I mean, it was just a physical, fight, it seemed, in second and third periods. But how much are you invested in watching the series and the style of hockey that last night's game was a totally tale of, two different games almost?
Yeah, you definitely like to tune in and watch. I mean, about a month and a half ago, we were in the first round, and the game's they're playing a lot harder than what you expected in round one. It's just that much harder as each round goes on, and each game, each period, and you can see it in the players, and that's why it's so hard to win this thing.
Yeah, and the St. Louis story obviously is a very cool story for the sport. You had a team that was in last place at the time, and then they make the coaching change, and then here they are. I don't know that you noticed any differences about that team, but was that a team that entered the playoffs that, players in the league were like, you know what, watch out for the Blues. That team could be sneaky, that they've improved so much. Was that a team that at the beginning of the tournament that people were kind of talking about, keeping an eye on?
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I've always thought St. Louis was a hard team to play against. Like you said, they weren't having the greatest year, but at the times we did play them, I could tell they're a hard physical team, and they're just a lot of new faces this year they had on their team, and the new coaching staff and everything. So I guess you kind of just wait for that time to everything comes together, and boy, did it come together at the right time there. And like you said, I think they're in last place at one point of the year, and next thing you know, they're in the Cup Finals here. So you find that that chemistry and that everything that gels together, it's a tough team to beat.
Johnny Gaudreau is with us now. You are from Salem County, which is about 45 minutes or so from us. Carney's Point up that way, Penns Grove. You went to Gloucester Catholic, which is pretty about 45 minutes away from us here. How do you now our intern is Hunter, who he showed me videos of you when you were like 9, putting the puck in the net from behind. It looks like the same guy now than when you were 9, same moves and everything. You had to dominate. How do you make that journey from playing hockey in Salem County, New Jersey, and kind of working your way up to that has to be just, against all odds to be somebody to make it to the NHL from that area.
Yeah, I was very fortunate when I was younger. My dad ran Hollywood Ice Rink in South Jersey, and instead of, in the summers inviting all my buddies like Hunter and friends to the house to go swimming, I invited them to the rink to come and skate, and no one's going to the rink in the summertime, so we had the ice from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and my friends' parents, they didn't need to hire babysitters or child care or anything like kids or anything like that. They just went to the rink with us and dropped them off, and we played hockey, ate at the snack bar, went back on the ice. So we were very fortunate when we were younger, just being on the ice all the time. And Dad was a great coach, helped me out a lot, and now I have a lot of buddies still playing now, and we're really fortunate we had that when we were younger.
Now I see a photo of you participating in the Calgary Stampede Parade. You've got the cowboy hat on, you've got a beautiful flannel shirt rocking there, and a fantastic pair of denim jeans there. Is that the Johnny Gaudreau look? Do you go with that a lot, or is that for the Calgary Stampede Parade?
Yeah, I think I just changed it for a day there. Riding the horse, had to kind of look the part of being a cowboy and riding around in the stampede. So don't wear the cowboy hat and the flannel shirt too often.
Just say, do you find
words to live by? Do
you find one of these places to hang out in Avalon? Like, could you walk in with that look in Avalon?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Maybe by my pool, just hanging out by the pool, so no one can see me. But other than that, I don't think you're walking around with that down there long.
Well, he is a 5-time NHL All-Star, the Lady Byng, which means he's one of the nicest guys in the entire league.
They must not really believe you're from Jersey when you tell me you won the Lady Byng.
That's right.
Yeah, I know, right? My buddies give me a hard time about it all the time.
Well, he was kind enough to take a couple minutes out of his day. I know you're heading out and got a busy offseason ahead here. Johnny Gaudreau from the – now, who do you pick? 1-1, series is tied. We're going back to St. Louis. Blues won their first ever game. Do you got a feel of is this just the Gloria Blues year, or is this Boston's to win?
Yeah, it's honestly, I think it's a toss-up. I mean, both really, really good teams, but if I had to pick, I'd probably go with Boston. They've been through a lot this year. They started out the beginning of the season in China playing against us, and it's been a long journey for them. So I feel like they got something to play for there. But it's going to be a fun series to watch, and looking forward to it.
Yeah, 1-1.
I thought we had an agreement on this no Boston thing.
Yeah, no
now
Boston.
he's picking Boston.
Yeah, now, and of course, Berube, the former Flyer coach, what did he say last night? That Gunnarsson told him at the bathroom stall while they were going to the bathroom that he just needed a shot, one more shot, and then he ends up scoring the game-winning goal there. Yeah, what a story, right?
Crazy
it's
how it all works.
Right? It's like Ryan Howard saying, just get me to the plate, except not at the toilet.
Yeah.
Johnny Gaudreau, everybody, Calgary Flames, and he was kind enough to join us here on the Boardwalk Honda Hotline. Hey, Johnny, thanks so much, man. We appreciate the time.
Yeah, of course. No problem.
All right,
Johnny.
that's good stuff. Johnny Gaudreau.